Hello and welcome to another CD comparison video. Um, Today I have two CDs that we're going to be going against each other. I'm going to tell you just my opinion on which tracks I think are better and it's just nothing scientific. I've done these videos before. It's just something different rather than just talking about one CD. I'm going to talk about two. And I try to pick ones that have the same track numbers and ones that sound the same. So we have two right here. So I know you're reading the title of the video, so you know what it is, but let me just officially introduce them. Number one, Interpol. Turn on the Bright Lights. Just a classic album, probably one of my favorites of the decade. Very good. All of you know it. And that's going to be going against Editors, The Back Room, from 2006. There's two copyright dates on this, 2006, 2005, from Kitchenware Records, and Interpol from Matador Records, 2002. So they sound the same. They're two sound. If you're not familiar with the Editors, they sound like Interpol. Okay, that makes it easy enough. One thing you can't really tell, but this is an Interpol shirt. Can you see? Let me do. There, you should. Okay, yeah, it's like black on black. There's the INT. I did it better. Well, anyway, you see it. There's the POL. Okay, there it is. I bought this at the Curiosa Festival back in 2004 with The Cure and I forget, the Rapture, I think, were there. And this shirt, I bought a small. This was again 2004. Now I can't fit into it. I don't even wear it anymore. It's just in my closet. The reason I don't throw it out because it was very expensive. It was like $45. I still remember that. Way too much money. The tickets themselves were like $65. I bought two. I ended up only using one to go alone. But yeah, so here's an Interpol shirt, even though you really can't see, but I sort of showed you. All right, so let's go. 11 tracks. Some of these, it's just my opinion. I really don't have a reason why I like a track other than, better than the other one. It's just something to, whether you agree or disagree with me, it's kind of like one of those things. Like if you're familiar with these tracks, you can either say, hey, that's not right, or I prefer the new over, you know what I'm talking about. Trying to make it interactive. First one, Untitled versus Lights. You say Untitled, probably one of my favorite songs. I said Turn on the Bright Lights, probably one of my favorites of the decade. Untitled, I don't know, something about it. It's just awesome. I just love the way the guitar starts, the reverb, the delay, the bass line, the repeated one verse. It's just everything about that is perfect. That's going to go against Lights, which one thing about the Back Room, if you're not familiar with the CD, every track is good. I mean, this is a great debut from the Editors. This isn't some throwaway album that's going to get destroyed. I picked one that can hold its own against the Interpol record. But just Untitled, I mean, I'm just going to pick Untitled because it's always been a favorite of mine. Next, Obstacle 1 versus Munich. Okay, Munich was a single, and so was Obstacle 1. See, one thing about, if you know about the Editors CD, Munich and Blood, I confuse them because I know how Blood goes, but I can't remember the lines to Munich. But that's a track I like. And Obstacle 1, how did if I had to pick one, see, some of these things, as I was looking at it, I'm like, I should just flip a coin on some of these because I like them. It's hard to pick because it doesn't mean I'm dissing the other song. If I had to listen to one right now, I mean, but I don't want to get too personal because I would hear Obstacle 1 a lot at the club, and where you wouldn't hear Munich a lot. So I'm kind of like tired of that song. But I'm going to pick Obstacle 1. I don't know. All right, next one, NYC versus Blood. I mean, NYC. I love that track. Again, there's just, you know, very slow and just great line. New York Cares and just, yeah, I don't know. This is one of those tracks that just sounds so right. Against Blood, you know, Blood Runs, oh, something. That's. I mean, those are two different songs. You know, Blood is upbeat. Um, you know, dancier, kind of like a Killer song. Where NYC is slower. But I'm going to pick NYC. Next, Fall versus PDA. These are two tracks now, because I kind of like glanced over these before I started the video, that I don't really like. I don't, you know, PDA I think is kind of too long, and Fall I didn't like at all. I don't know, something about it that was another longer track that is really not their best. So I'm going to pick PDA, and I think it's 4-0 Interpol. All right, but I know this is not going to be. This is one for the editors coming up. Excuse me. All Sparks versus Say Hello to the Angels. There are a couple tracks on Turn on the Bright Lights that I always skip, that I'm not really unfamiliar with. I just don't like. Say Hello to the Angels is one of them. And All Sparks, I mean, that's a good song. I played that at the club early on. It wasn't too slow. It had a nice guitar riff to it. So that deserves to win. Number 6, Hands Away and Camera. I mean, Hands Away, that's a track that it's just basically a progression, and then it just stops. You have that guitar that it just swirls, keep my hands away, near, 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 near. It's just great with like fog everywhere, and then it just ends. Which is the complete opposite of like Camera, which is kind of like a longer, drawn out song. You know, great bass line. Do 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 do. This one could go either way. I'm gonna go with Hands Away. Ah! All right. Number 7, Obstacle 2 versus Fingers in the Factory. If I had to pick between Obstacle 1 and Obstacle 2, I'd pick Obstacle 1 as my favorite of those two tracks. I'm going to go with Fingers in the Factories for this one. One thing about, once I get to the end of this video, I'll make a generalization about the Editor's album. But I'm going to go with Fingers in the Factories. It's an upbeat song, and you know, great drumming. Dun, dun, dun. Be With Me, or yeah, it's a good track. It deserves to win. Number 8, Bullets versus Stella Was a Diver and She Was Always Down. Longer track versus a 3-minute and 30-second track. Probably Bullets is one of my favorites off the back room. You know, You Don't Need This Disease. I remember even Matt Pinfield, he randomly tweeted it. I don't know if he's on Twitter anymore, but he randomly tweeted this song, Editor's Bullets, because he knows. And then I mean, it's a good track, but it's longer. Not generally one I would listen to all the time. Next, Roland versus Roland. Roland, or I keep saying Roland. Versus Someone Says. I'm gonna go with Someone Says. Roland is a track that I would, skip. That's another one I never liked on this album. And Someone Says, one thing about this album, tracks like Someone Says, Bullets, Munich, and Blood, they're all, like, I don't know this for sure, but they're kind of like the same beats per minute, like maybe like 122. They all kind of sound the same. And maybe they were going for that, and it's a formula that worked. I mean, a lot of these tracks are good, but they kind of like, I don't know, it's something about it. Like maybe the same chord progression. Like Fingers in the Factory sounds like Munich. Munich sounds like Someone Says. It's just the lyrics are different. Next, Open Your Arms, which is kind of like another longer track. Against The New. So we have two longer tracks. If I didn't mention the bass line in this Editor's album, I want to do it right now. How did Yeah. because if you hear Open Your Arms, if you listen to it, you'll notice the bass line. And the New, that's a good track. I'm gonna go with the New, just because I think Open Your Arms, they repeat the lyrics too much. Open your arms and let something into your house or something, something like that. But they just repeat it a lot. And the last tracks here, number 11, Leif Erikson versus The Distance. When I looked at this, I mean, The Distance, or it's just Distance, is awesome. It's a great track. You know, it's unfortunate that it has to go against Leif Erikson, which is another one that's just so sentimental to me. Oh, the fantastic lyrics. Oh, she says something. She says, "Oh, something. My love's a pony. Love's subliminal." You know, it doesn't make any sense, but it's just the way it's sung. It's just so dark, and so is Distance. So it's like for this one, I'm really going nuts because I really do like both these tracks. I'm gonna go with Leif Erikson just for the sentimental reasons and just I don't know, I just maybe like it a little bit more. So there you go. Editor's Backroom and Interpol Turn on the Bright Lights, a CD comparison. I think Interpol won. I didn't count it officially, but as I was going in my mind, I think I picked more Interpol. But anyway, but this is also a good album that you should listen to on YouTube if you haven't already. They sound the same. All right, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.